What's up, you guys? Wanted to make this video because one of the things that I say all the time that I believe to the core of my being is what you lack is not resources, but rather resourcefulness. Now, the first time that I heard this was, I think, from like an Eric Thomas motivational video back when I was probably like 11 or something like that. But basically what he said in this video is he was like, you could take a millionaire, you could drop them in another country, have them not know the language, and within a year or 2 years, they would be a millionaire again. And the reason why is because they have the skills. They've become the type of person. They know what to do in order to be a millionaire. And I always thought that was a really interesting idea. And I think what I heard from him, could have been from somewhere else, but was that it's not that you lack the resources, you lack the resourcefulness. And I want to offer just a few other pieces of advice based on what I've learned on that, of what that actually means. Because oftentimes what is communicated when we say that is that if you're not where you want to be, it's your lack of ingenuity. That's essentially what the quote is saying. And I think that there's a lot of truth in that, but I also think that there's maybe a few layers deeper to that is worth exploring. So one of the things that I was writing down as I was thinking about it is that even though you lack the resources right now, that doesn't mean that you will continue to lack them. Because what I see from the most successful people that I'm around is even if they don't have the resources immediately, they get going, but then they go get the resources because the resources make it easier. So let me give the perspective in a content creation aspect, because that's what I've done. That's been something that has been really impactful. And oftentimes when people get going or they don't get going, the reason why they say that they don't get going is because they don't have the resources. I don't have the camera. I don't have the microphone. The lighting isn't good. I'm not a good enough communicator, right? Those are resources in a sense. In one sense, there's some skill deficiencies, but in another sense, they might not actually have the camera or the mic or anything like that. Or they just start, right? I feel like that's oftentimes how it is. But one of the things that I see from the most successful people is oftentimes they just start and then they go get the resources and then they can now do it at a higher level because they have the resources. That's one point on that. And then the second point on that is a lot of times people do have the resources available. Like, for example, buying an editing software or buying a camera or buying a microphone. Like, they have the money to do it, but they waste it on other things. Again, it's not that you lack the resources, it's that you lack the resourcefulness of choosing where to allocate those resources. And that's not only in money of buying equipment, but it's in time and attention of knowing what to focus on. And it's in using your money to know the right thing to go get. So again, it's not that you lack the resources. When you're young, you actually don't have that much money. So what you have to do is you have to go figure out how to get paid money to go buy the thing, or you can make a trade and you can work for someone and say, hey, I will edit your videos for you if you get me a laptop and pay for my software. I bet that a bunch of older business people would probably take you up on that. But then even if you get the equipment, then you got to go get the skill set to be able to edit it well. And so again, that can be a resources thing, but it's oftentimes a resourcefulness. It's knowing where to look. It's focusing on the right thing. And one of the things that I hear from a lot of the most successful people that I know is that so much of success is doing the right things in the right order. And I heard someone say that if you gave 10 entrepreneurs the goal to go start this kind of business, and then you came back in a year or 2 years or 5 years, they would all end up in different places because the order of what you work on matters a lot. And I told another entrepreneur that who is really successful, and he said, yeah, but I think that if you came back even later, much of their businesses would look the same. So it's very interesting because business often comes back to best practices because just simply the best way to do things. And the faster, again, this is that resourcefulness thing. If there is a best way to do things, the faster you can go get that information and start doing it, the more successful you will be. But it is interesting in the idea that the thing that you tackle first really does matter. That's my short video on my take on the 2 additional levels past. It's not that you lack resources, it's that you lack resourcefulness. And it's really that, yes, you just need to start, right? But it's not just that. It's that you need to start and then go get the resources so that you can make it easy, because sustainability and ease and infrastructure really matters. Because if you can't keep doing it and it's not easy, then it's going to be really hard to keep doing anything worth doing. It's going to take a little bit of time to build. Then the second thing is, once you get the resources, don't waste them. And then I guess the third thing that we talked about is, when you do get the resources, it is so critical to work on the right things in the right order. Because if you work on the wrong things, nothing will happen. That's my take on the 3 levels deeper of what you don't lack resources, you lack resourcefulness actually means. All right. If you like this video, then you might like this video, or maybe this one. I think that there should be one in one of those 2 corners. All right. I'm Anj Bourgeois. Let's win together.